Hey everyone, welcome to Cypress tutorial. Today in this tutorial, we will learn how to handle radio buttons in Cypress. I will show you how to select, verify, and interact with radio buttons easily. So let's begin. Create a new test file. Right click upon E2E, new file, and then enter the file name here. Radio underscore buttons dot side dot js. This is our test file. First define here reference types is equal to Cypress. First we need to define reference type. Reference types is equal to Cypress. Now use the describe here. Describe, visit the website. First you need to visit website website and use our function here. Now use the before each because first we need to open the website. So we will use here before each it will execute it. First visit to the website. First visit to the website, and this is a function. Inside this we will use sci.visit. Sci.visit basically used for visiting to the website. You can open the URL by using site.visit. Copy this complete URL and enter URL here. Now, create a test case. For creating a test case, we can use it, and this is our radio button test. So we can use radio button handle and then function. Open the website. We need to click on this radio button. Just refresh this website. By default, you can view radio button 3 is selected. We need to click on this radio button 1. Right click on this radio button 1. Inspect. And here you can view ID is available. We can use this ID for locating this element, which is the radio button 1. And if we look at is radio button 2, right click, inspect, and radio button 2 for locating this element, radio button 2 ID is also available. Right click here, inspect, copy this ID, open VS Code, and enter here sci.get. For locating element by ID, we need to enter hash and then enter the ID. We need to click on this radio button. So here we will use dot check. Let's save this test file and run this test. We can format the document. Right click and format document. For opening the Cypress, use npx Cypress open. Now it will open the Cypress. As you can view, Cypress is opening. Maximize the window and select E2E. We call it testing on browser. Here we need to select the browser. Now choose the file here, radio underscore buttons. Our test file name is radio underscore buttons. Click on this radio underscore buttons. First, it will navigate to this URL and click on this first radio button. As you can view, it select the first radio button one. Now, we need to use the assert for verifying the first radio button is selected. For verifying, we can use here chain command dot should d dot checked. Let's save this test file and run these tests. As you can view, expected input radio button 1 to be checked. Yes, it is checked, so our test case is passed. Next thing here we need to do verify whether this radio button 2 is not selected. We can locate by element, right click, inspect, and we need to look at this element, and here ID is available, radio dash button 2. Copy this ID, open VS Code, use get for locating by ID, use hash, and we need to make sure this second radio button is not checked. Dot should not dot be dot checked. Let's run this test, save this test file and see what happened. First navigate the URL, assert expected input radio button to be checked, and assert input radio button 2 is not checked. Same as well, we can look at this element radio button 3, copy this ID, and we need to make sure these two radio button is not checked. Dot get hash and then enter the ID for radio button 3 dot should not dot be not checked. Now in this case, first we navigate to this URL and mark the first radio button and verify second and third radio button is unchecked. Let's run the test. Open browser, and here you can view first radio button is selected and the second and third radio button is unchecked. That is for today's tutorial. I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to SK World. See you in the next meeting.